Good morning. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. It's good afternoon. Good afternoon. I just want to come on real briefly. I saw a topic that I thought was very, very, very interesting. About people trying to tell you how to feel, like how whatever they did made you feel, how you supposed to basically feel about something that they may have done to you. Um, I just feel like you can't ever tell anyone that their feelings are wrong. Once you do something to someone, you can't tell them that the way that they perceive or feel about what you did was wrong. You can only explain to them where you were coming from when you were doing whatever it is that you was doing, but you can't tell them that they're wrong for feeling however it is that they feel about what you did to them. See, people have an issue with trying to devalue the way people feel about the way people treat them, whether it's your spouse or whatever, even if your spouse doesn't have any bad intentions with the stuff that they do, if you feel like you're not happy or they did something to hurt you, your feelings are not wrong. It's something that they're doing that you may not be receiving the way that they trying to put it out or lack thereof. But it still doesn't make your feelings wrong. It means that that's the way that you feel in the moment. And you have a right to feel however you feel, even when you feel like somebody is fumbling you, whether they love you and they say it 1,000 times a day. If they don't show it to you, you have a right to feel unloved, regardless of how much they say, oh, I pay this bill and I pay that bill. Monetary does not equal love. And that's where a lot of people get it messed up. They feel like, even a lot of males, I would say, they feel like because they pay all the bills or whatever, that means that equates to love. It does not. Even when you have a partner that tells you what they need from you, but you feel like, oh, I wasn't brought up romantic. I don't know nothing about that. I ain't never seen my mama do that with my daddy. I ain't never seen my daddy give my mama flowers. She was satisfied. I ain't your mammy. Okay? Stop trying to hold every woman that you meet to the same standards as your mother. We are all different people. Everybody are individuals. Because your mother may have not wanted those things. What her heart desires doesn't mean that that's the same thing that a woman that you meet that her heart is going to desire, or that she's going to maybe accept the bare minimum that your mother may have accepted. You cannot do that. You have to learn to get to know a person for who they are individually. Stop comparing. Comparing is the thief of joy. Stop. Everybody is not the same, but I, like I said, I ran across something just saying, how can you tell people that their feelings are wrong? You can't. You can, like I said, you could tell them, okay, when I was doing that, it wasn't my intentions to make you feel bad or to make you feel unloved. That's all I got. That's the only way I know how to love you. If you require more, tell me what you need from me, and I'll try to put more into it, or try to do my best to be what you need, or love you enough to let you go and find what you need. But see, a lot of people don't want to have those serious, in-depth conversations. They rather be selfish and hold on to you, because they want their cake and eat it too, or they don't want nobody else to love you correctly. Because you have to understand, the same version of a person that you get may not be the same version the version of someone that you get may not be the same version the next person gets from them. Because that person may love them genuinely. That person may allow them to be themselves. That person, they may not feel like they have to put a facade over their face just to be happy, or they don't feel like they have to stand up to a particular image to make this person love them. They understand that that person is going to love them regardless, because that person understands that when I accepted you baggage, flaws and all. You know what I'm saying? I'm never going to throw back in your face your indiscretions, because I understand that we all have them. You understand what I'm saying? But and like I said, I saw it and I was like, nah, you can't never tell a person that they feelings is wrong. If your wife or your husband tell you, I feel like this, even if you think that you're doing everything right, but they tell you, I feel like you're not paying me enough attention, or I feel like the fact that I barely see you or anything, I may feel like there's some infidelity, or I may feel like your interest is somewhere else. You can't tell them that they're wrong for feeling like that. You can ensure them by action that that's not what's going on, but you can't tell them that they're wrong for feeling like that, because evidently you fumbling somewhere that your significant other think that there's someone else, or that your significant other thinks that there's room for somebody to come in and penetrate the relationship, or because one thing that I realized was people are in their most vulnerable Mistakes happen. Even when you move off emotion, moving off emotion is one of the worst things that you can do. Speaking from experience, okay? Because when you move off emotion, baby, most of the time you make the worst decisions because you're not moving with a clear head. You moving solely off emotion. So somebody to hurt you, you want to hurt them back. Or they want to hurt you, you're gonna choose to sit there and cry about it. Or you're gonna choose to turn that pain into power, get up and go get what you want, or find the happiness within yourself and understand that it's totally okay to be alone. Another person, it's good to have another person, but another person shouldn't be needed to add any validity to who you feel you are. You should already stand in your own truth, stand in your own power, stand on who you are, regardless of who you're with or lack thereof. Because you don't need another individual to make you happy. And this world tells you that, oh, you gotta have this person or you'll feel empty. That's a lie. Because a lot of people that have somebody are totally miserable. And a lot of people have, as life goes on and experiences have, they've experienced things in life, they actually see the happiness in themselves because they're moving with a clear vision. They're focusing on their goals. They're focusing on the things that they want to do in life, the places they want to travel. They don't have another person that's being so demanding of their time. And I think that's another reason why a lot of us or a lot of relationships fail, because you so into just having that person that you don't even know who you are. So you going into a relationship with somebody else full of traumas that you haven't dealt with, full of insecurities that you haven't dealt with, full of past pain from past relationships that you haven't dealt with. And you carry all that baggage into your new relationship. Hey Libra 4, how you doing? I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you, Queen? You carry all that back into your new relationship and you expect the new person that you with to fix it. You don't even understand that the power is within you to fix yourself and heal yourself before you even enter somebody else's life with all that hurt and baggage. And then you want to find a reason to make them responsible for what the man or the woman before them did. It's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But again, you still can't tell somebody that their feelings are wrong, even if their feelings are from a previous relationship. It's still not, you didn't cause it, right? But their feelings are still valid, right? Because somebody taught them a lesson at some point in life that you can love somebody with everything you got, right? You can give somebody the purest love that you know. You can love somebody from the top of their head to the soles of their feet. Or like my grandma used to say, you can love their dirty drawers, right? And they could still betray you, right? You can invest everything that you have into this person. You can be everything that they told you that they need. You can be everything that they told you they desire. And at some point during the relationship, that person can still deceive you. So you have to understand why sometimes people have second doubts or may not trust people to the fullest. Um, just because sometimes their mother have, their mom and dad, the first people that was supposed to love them, may have tore something up inside of them. So when you're deceived by definitely mama and dad, it's hard to trust anybody after that. Not to say that you should have to foot the bill, not to say that you should have to endure the you should have to endure the insecurities. Hey, Glam again. Yeah, we just talking about how I ran across this thing and they were saying how in relationships, like your partner will tell you, or even just in life, right? Somebody will tell you that the way that you feel about something is wrong. Like let's just say you're in a relationship with somebody, right? And y'all together, right? And he may pay all the bills or whatever, but he never has time for you, right? So although he pays the bills and stuff like that, the things that you desire, right? Which are not monetary, which most people, if you're in a relationship, monetary is not the only thing that you desire, right? So say he come home from work, he play the game all day long. There's no intimacy between y'all. So you come and you tell him one day, I feel like you're not interested, or I feel unloved. Oh, thank you, Glam. Thank you. I appreciate you for coming to Member Queen. Okay, so just say that he say, well, I pay all the bills in here. You ain't never satisfied or whatever. And your feelings are wrong. I'm not cheating on you. Now, even though he may not be cheating on you, right? But you've left room for self-doubt. You see what I'm saying? You left room for self-doubt because you feel like all you have to do is pay the bills. You don't feel like you have to be intimate with her unless you want a quick, y'all know. But there's no intimacy. You don't find the time to tell her you love her on the regular. You don't find the time to tell her she's beautiful on the regular. You don't find time to sometimes just lay there and cuddle. It doesn't have to be sex involved. You don't find time to be anything other than a provider to her, right? So because she feels like you may be stepping out or she feels unloved, how can you tell her that her feelings are wrong? You understand? Because see, men a lot of times think that that's all they have to be is providers and protectors. Everything else they feel like the woman should be satisfied with that. I pay the bills. Um, you should be hush. Nothing else you should be complaining about. They don't understand that women are more nurturers. You know what I'm saying? Most of us don't thrive off of just finances. Oh, thank you, Glam. May it return to you 1,000 times fold, Queen. Most of us don't move off of money. Most women require and desire intimacy. They want somebody to make them feel like they they care about them. They want somebody they want to feel appreciated for the cooking and the cleaning, taking care of the baby still while trying to follow their dreams and their aspirations, still trying to create generational wealth for their family. Because most women are just not satisfied with being stay-at-home moms. Even if they are stay-at-home moms, they got some type of hustle or they got big dreams in their head. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's something about us when it comes to our children, wanting our children to have everything in this world that we didn't have. It comes as a natural feeling, right? So every day, all day, our mind is spinning, spinning, spinning. We're watching and we want more. We desire more, you know, even because we know one day those children are going to be grown and gone. And then what do we have? We've lived our whole life trying to make our husband happy. We've lived our whole life trying to make sure our children had everything they needed, that they made all the doctor's appointments, that they would all at the cheer practices, the dance practices, the football game. We made sure that everybody was straight, right? One day they find somebody that they love, and now they leave. Now, unfortunately, you become last on their list, right? Now, your significant other to spend his whole life just feeling like all he had to do was work, 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 work. So y'all under the same roof, but you're not. Like you together, but you're not together. If y'all get what I'm saying, y'all not on the same wave. Like y'all existing. Y'all exist under the same roof in the same household, but there's no real intimacy because you've never taken time for yourself. And every time issues have been addressed about what one another is lacking or need, you feel like you put it on the back burner. It's no time for that. Or you love complaining or I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a man. I'm telling you, you're not, you know, or I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a woman. He's telling you you're not. You know what I'm saying? People can't be receptive of, okay, the thing is, a lot of people think that everything comes with the manual. Everybody's supposed to live and take on every position the exact same way. There's no handbook to be a wife. There's no handbook to be a girlfriend. There's no handbook to be a boyfriend. There's no handbook to be a parent. There's no handbook. You know, you have to do whatever it is that works for you. You can't look at what everybody else got going on around them and feel like, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is. That's what it's supposed to be. Because everybody's not receptive. Everybody doesn't receive things the same way. And that's why a lot of people, okay, good example. All right, just like with my granddaughters, right? I allow my granddaughters and my children to be expressive. I always have, you know. Um, and Glam, Miss Katrina Lee said, "Are you coming live?" And I've always have. Because listen, a lot of people don't understand it, but they also don't understand that when I was coming up, children were to be, as I said 1,000 times, children would be seen, not heard. Every time we tried to express, mommy, you know, what you doing or what you forcing me to do, I don't feel comfortable doing it. You get smacked in your mouth. You're a child. You don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You do whatever it is I'll tell you to do. Not understanding that she's a mother that's operating off of trauma. She's bringing the same traumas that her mom and dad inflicted on her and she's afflicting it on her own children. She's doing the exact same thing. But the difference between her And her children are from another area. Her children wants to speak up and tell her mommy, I don't, when you do this, you make me feel this way. And it's not disrespectful. Why do y'all feel like when children tell y'all how they feel, it got to be disrespectful? Why do you feel like, hey, Miss Katrina Lee, why do you feel like you have to be at odds with your children because your children have pointed out something, indiscretion of yours? Instead of feeling like that's just like the same thing. You can't tell your children that their feelings are wrong. When you were doing the action, you may have seen it as, I'm just being a parent. I'm just doing the same things my mama did. This is what my mama taught me being a good mother is. Okay, that maybe would have worked for you, but your children are not receptive of that behavior. Your children don't receive it the same way you may have received it and became comfortable with it. Your children are not the same. So that's why people are like, oh, you understand. My grandbabies are little. It's time for it's room for grace for them. But the difference is the reason why I let them be expressive. Of course, I don't allow them to curse. Never did. I don't allow my babies to do inappropriate stuff like twerking and all that. But if they're in the middle of I'm very open to being compassionate. If we're in the middle of something and unfortunately you raise your voice a little bit, I'm going to tell you, all right, tighten up a little bit. But I understand compassion. It's a difference between having compassion about something that somebody's done to you and being disrespectful. It's a total difference. You understand? And like I tell people, what you got to understand is the reason why most of y'all mamas and daddies be saying, oh, I know my child ain't do that. My child will never do that. I ain't raised my child. Because you don't know your child. Because you never allowed yourself to see your child in all the different stages of emotions. Because you felt like you would love to see them in the happy emotion, but sad, depressed, mad, those were not acceptable in your household because those to you were disrespect. When in reality, your child may really have just been fighting with something that they may have needed to be able to reveal to you for you to help them and heal them. So they don't grow up to be aggressive, mean adults that don't know how to resolve conflict, don't know how to talk to someone when they make them feel uncomfortable. They feel like the first thing they're supposed to do is smack them in the mouth. Because that's what my mama did to me. When I made her feel like I was trying to challenge her, she smacked me in the mouth. Your children don't even know how to constructively accept a challenge. You know what I'm saying? Your children can't even articulate words. Because these conversations, these hard conversations, you don't never have with them. You go tell them to go sit down. You go tell them to sit down and stay in the child's place. When you don't even understand that, even though you're an adult, you still confused. Being an adult don't make you right. Because you are a trauma-filled adult. You're not a constructively built adult. You're an adult that was abused. You're an adult that dealt with, in and out of foster care. You've an adult that dealt with your mom and dad being addicted. You've dealt with, molestation, different things like that you've dealt with. You know what I'm saying? And you were told what happens in this house stays in this house. So you never allowed yourself to heal. You never felt comfortable enough to go outside the home and tell somebody you need help. You never felt comfortable enough to go tell somebody, please save me from my father, or save me from my uncle, save me from the uncles that y'all telling them little girls to sit on their laps and stuff. And, the uncles be thinking crazy stuff. The uncles that come in your house like, ooh, she done grown up, and just saying inappropriate stuff because that's the uncle and because this is your brother or whatever. You let it slide. No, don't let it slide. Because understand, most of the time when those older men saying stuff like that, they've already been inappropriate with your child as your child was coming up. And your child never felt comfortable enough to tell you because that's your brother. Or that's your uncle. Or that's your granddaddy. See, people walk around with traumas all day. And this is why I say adults are not always right, because we don't deal with our own traumas. And we make these children feel voiceless. Because they don't agree with what you did as a parent don't mean they're disrespectful. It means they do not agree. And it means they have a right to not agree. It's okay sometimes to self-reflect and put yourself in that child's shoes. And be like, wait a minute now. If this was being done to me, how would I feel? Sometimes as parents, we got to do that. If this was being done to me, my childhood self, how would I feel? But see, that's the journey a lot of parents are not willing to take. But again, this is just another example of why you can't tell people their feelings are wrong. You may feel like you're just being a parent. You just being a parent the only way you know how to be a parent. But you wrong. Your child's feelings about the fact that you smack them in the mouth every time they challenge you, you're wrong. The fact that the first thing that you go to is laying your hands on a child because they didn't move the first time you told them to move, you're wrong. People got to talk to you. Your boss got to still, in your big grown age, sometimes your boss got to tell you to do things 3 or 4, 5 times before you do it. Would it be okay for your boss to walk up and smack you in the mouth? Nah. But you can get more, yeah, it's okay to get more aggressive with them and tell them, didn't I just tell you now, all right, I'm a talker. You gonna but a lot of people ain't gonna talk all day, and I understand. I come from the era where I told you one time to do it, but we got to understand this is a different genre of children. Y'all still trying to, operate on the same slave mentality that our ancestors passed on. Because if you be truthful with yourself, you can think of 1,000 things that your mom and daddy probably told your hip up about that you still went back and did. Be honest with yourself now. Be honest with yourself. Just the second time that you did it with a little more discretion. Because you already knew the outcome was going to be your mom and dad's going to tear that hip up if they found you doing it again, right? But that whooping did not stop you from doing it. Be honest, it did not. It just taught you how to be deceptive. It taught you how to hide it a little better. Because if it's in you, it's in you. And you got to understand, sometimes this junk be in these kids when they little. That's why I allow mine to express itself so I can see how in depth it go with you. Like what you capable of. I like to see, even at a young age, what you capable of. Because that's how I know how to fix you. That's how I know how to deal with you. But if I don't let you be free, if I don't let you express yourself, if I always try to program you to make you move the way I want you to move, how will I know what's in you? Because you got to understand, these children are their own individual person. We plant seeds, we water them, and we pray that they grow. But y'all got to understand, you cannot control every aspect of who your child is, no matter how much you may want to. It doesn't work like that. They humans within their own little rights. They are human beings. So yes, I let mine be a little more expressive, and then so I know how to, understand when, you got to spare the rod. But then when you don't have to spare it, because understand I got limits. And I ain't just finna let you run scot-free around here, think you can play with me. No. But I'm okay with one of my children standing in my face and saying, "Ma, you wrong for that, Ma." Why do a lot of parents take that as some type of challenge? You may be wrong for real. Because a lot of y'all be wrong. But you may not be intentional. It's not intentional. It's just all you know. And even as an adult, you still learning, but you're not willing to accept the fact that you still learning because you had a rough start. A lot of us learn stuff way later in life than what we should. Because we didn't have those constructive or those solid foundations where we were put first. We didn't have those foundations where our moms and dads would sit down and talk to us. Or if they just noticed that we was acting a little out of character, they would take the time to sit down and be like, "What's wrong with you? This ain't you. This ain't the child I raised. Like, what's going on with you? You got something you want to talk about?" No. The first thing they do, they take it as a challenge. I told you not to do that, so you did it. I'm going to whoop you. You can't whoop it out of them. That's one thing you can't. These doggone promiscuous little girls, you can't whoop it out of them. You can whoop them all you want, but as soon as they get away from you, they're going to still be promiscuous. You cannot whoop it out of them. Stop thinking y'all can do that. Then y'all go around trying to scream that from the mountaintop like you right. It's a slave mentality. It's the same thing that your ancestors went through. When they got out of line, they got whooped. So what they do, they brought that from generation to generation. They passed it down. And how many of the slaves you think would just whoop one time? Think about it. They still did whatever they needed to do to be free or protect their families. But unfortunately, that's one thing that was just passed down from generation to generation to generation. Y'all screaming from the mountaintop trying to make it right. No matter how loud you scream it, it does not make it right. Like I said, I'm not saying it's never necessary. Sometimes it's necessary. But a lot of the times, it's not. But it's always just the first go-to. Y'all feel like it's the easiest thing to do. Whoop 'em. And your child end up growing up not respecting you. Your child grows up fearing you. So the quickest they can get away from you, they gone. You wonder why your child want to go as far away to college as possible. They want to get away from you. But your crazy tail self. You have a slave mentality. Like and a lot of, like I said, a lot of people is not willing to accept it, but it is what it is. But again, just going back, you know, the era that we're in now, y'all, these kids need a voice. These kids need to feel comfortable coming to you, talking to you about whatever it is. And it may be hard to hear, baby. Because these kids be doing some stuff. You hear me? It may be hard to hear, but you gotta hear it. Hear it so you can fix it. Don't be unapproachable to your own children. Because you walking around with a slave mentality and you want to walk around with your chin up, chest out. I'm the parent. I'm the do. Okay, be a parent then. Be a safe haven for your child. Giving birth is not the only thing required to be a parent. Be your child's safe haven. Be open to your child. Y'all can have those uncomfortable conversations. Those situations where you may look at them like, I know you did. I know. Lord Jesus, help me. Who child is this? Sometimes they'll tell you that stuff. You be like, glory to God. After they walk away from you, you got to be like, Lord, what's wrong with them? You know what I'm saying? You can't do that in front of them. You got to wait till they walk out the room. Like, what's wrong with them? Lord, I ain't raised that boy to be like that. What? But just listen. And sometimes the best thing that you can do for them is give them to God. Give them back to God. Let God handle it. Because see, God see the things that you don't see. Nobody child is perfect. I don't care how loud you scream it. Children are going to be children. They're going to have growing pains. Just like a lot of us, all of us, we had growing pains. And even in our old age, a lot of us still go through to get to. It's life. Stop trying to hold your children up to aspects and try to hold your children up to criteria that you can't even fulfill. You put too much pressure. Pressure bust pipes. You know? Continue to teach them, never stop teaching them, never stop pouring into them. And even in your relationships, never stop doing what you can to, help it build as much as you can. Never stop trying if that's where you want to be. But be open. Be open and to being receptive of what your partner tell you that they may be feeling. And never tell them that their feelings are wrong. Fix it. Once they tell you whatever it is that they feel, even like I said, if it's not your intentions when you be putting it out there, ask them, how can I fix it? What is it that I can do to fix it if that's where you want to be? But stop telling people that their feelings are not valid, that their feelings are wrong. You can't, that ain't, you can't tell nobody their feelings wrong. That's crazy. Because one thing also about in relationships, once you keep doing all that and you're not being receptive and you keep telling somebody your feelings wrong, your feelings wrong, your feelings wrong, that's when the door's open for them to start thinking all kind of mess, thinking you're cheating, thinking maybe other things you're starting to do, because now the foundation ain't solid no more. And a rocky foundation, honey, is room for disaster. A rocky foundation will always leave room for self-doubt, leave room for infidelity, leave room for assumptions. And when you assume, you know what that means. You make it, out of you and me. You know how that go. But it's just sometimes the little things that we can fix. And we need to get out of the mindset of the olden days. Y'all, we're not there no more. These kids are different. These kids 2 and 3 years old can work computers and stuff better than some of us adults. These phones and stuff. These are not, they not us. These are not us. The same methods are not going to work. We have to constantly look for what's going to work in order to really save them. In order to really save them, we have to really sit down and pay attention and see what works. Because understand, what worked for one child may not even work for the second child. It's hard, y'all. You hear me? Because I be watching the different demeanors of my children. I be like, what the? And out of the 9, I could say only 1 has a demeanor similar to mine. And that's my oldest one. Well, I mean, as far as, the heart I have, well, I say 2. As far as the heart I have and stuff like that. But then the other ones, I be like, oh, y'all so selfish. They totally different. They the complete opposite. But are they wrong for the way that they are? They gotta talk to, they gotta talk to God about that. It ain't for me. But I always tell them, hey, Miss Loving Me, Tracy Anderson. Miss Lee before said, you speaking because my oldest grandson will come and get in the bed with me to get things off his chest, and I listen. Then I give my opinion. Exactly. And that's what they gotta feel comfortable doing. Coming and dump off some of that stuff sometimes. They gotta be able to come dump it off sometimes. Because if they walk around with it all the time, again, pressure bust pipes. They got to have somewhere to dump it off. Be the dump off spot for these babies. Let them come dump it off. And like I said, sometimes the stuff is hard to hear. You be like, how you even got yourself in that situation? Your mind be running 1,000 miles per hour. But sometimes it's because you're thinking you can't say it. Because the last thing they need to think is that you're judging them. They got to feel completely safe, completely unjudged, completely, valued. You don't got to make them feel right, because I know. After they tell me, I'm like, all right. So I always do things like, okay, all right, now you do it. Understand, this is what the outcome going to be. All I can do is send you off in prayer. Because at the end of the day, I've given you all I got. And that's all I got. But I will constantly, as I'm refilled, I constantly refill you. But you got to love yourself as much as I love you. You got to see in you what I see in you. You got to value your own life. You got to value your own. You got to have your own dreams. You got to have your own aspirations. Because your final destiny, mommy finally realized she does not control. Right? Right? You can do everything, be the most perfect parent in this world. Sometimes the most perfect parents that gave their children everything, they ain't even perfect parents, because at the end of the day, there's no perfect person. But the parent that gave their child everything, gave them all the opportunities, paid for all the extra curricular activities, sometimes they turn out to be the worst children. Because, see, all that stuff is not what they desired. All that stuff is not what they needed. Sometimes they just need you. Sometimes they just need to feel safe. Sometimes they just need to know it's okay to yell sometimes. Even as an adult, sometimes, y'all, I get so overwhelmed. I'll go in my car and just scream, right? And I'll be like, Lord, please. Lord, please. I just scream. So as an adult, if I have those many pressures and I feel like sometimes I just need to scream, why do you think your children, they go off to school, they deal with all kind of stuff that we don't know they're dealing with? Why don't you think it's okay for them to scream sometimes? Like, you hold them to standards that you can't even fulfill. You fall short. You fall short. Like, people, and that's exactly what I tell, when you make men's decisions, you get to be, yeah, right. And I always tell mine too, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Period. It is what it is. The raw and uncut truth. You know right from wrong. You decide what you're going to do with yourself. I can't walk with you 24 hours a day. I can't. I can't hold your hand through this thing called life. I can't. But I've given you the tools that you need to survive. Now, whether or not you choose to go in your toolbox and use the tools, that's solely up to you. See, the one thing as parents, like they say, the hardest thing as a parent to do is to let go. And I didn't understand that concept until I became a mother and I started having grown children. The ability to let go is excruciating. It's like you just had your newborn baby and somebody trying to rip them out your arms. You know, that's how it feels. It's hard. You can't. Like right now, y'all, I'm still working on the letting go part. Not every time something go wrong in their life, not feeling responsible, you know, because I feel like I put them on this earth, so everything supposed to be good for them. I'm supposed to make sure nothing happens to them. I'm supposed to make sure they never have a bad day. I'm supposed to make sure all their money problems are solved. I'm supposed to make sure everything that they need, I drop it off at their front door. That's not a reality. But it doesn't stop us from feeling like that. It doesn't stop us parents from wanting that. It doesn't stop us, even though we know it's not a reality, it doesn't stop us from torturing ourselves because we can't do that. You know, we still walk around here torturing ourselves. You know, I guess that's where the thing comes, learning how to accept the things you cannot change. But baby, when it comes to them children, it's hard to accept not being able to change nothing, even when it's something that is making life hard for them. Being a parent is not for the faint of heart, for real, for real. Amen, swag. I'm trying to tell you. You hear me? I'm gonna have to pin you. Let me how you pin you. Cause baby, how you pin you? Nope. Oh Lord, it's trying to ban you, swag. Hold on. Start comment, put using no. We don't want to do none of that. Hold on, let me tap you. Oh, there you go. It is not for the faint of heart. It's probably the most extraneous thing that you would do in your whole entire life. Because while you still trying to figure your life out and get yourself together, you got these little people that's depending on you to make everything good in their life happen, make everything right in their life. When you still trying to get your own life right, because again, remember, you started off, you had a rough start. So a lot of people don't get where they're supposed to be at a particular time. You can't never tell nobody you should be here in life. How you know? You don't know where they started from. They start may not have been your start. Whatever their journey is different from your journey. You can't tell people where they're supposed to be at in life. That is not your call. Worry about your own journey. Conquer your journey in the way that you need to conquer your own journey. Stop trying to knock people down while they're going through theirs. Stop trying to judge people when they're going through theirs. Because you know what? When you spend the time judging people while they're going through their journey and doing all that you're doing, you only stagnate in your own journey. Because the things that were set there, once God see who you are, he started to knock some of them blocks down like, nah, this ain't the person I want to even walk in this season. So now we're going to close this door till they get some act right about themselves. From conception on, exactly, Miss Swag. From conception on, it is a battle. Well, y'all hear my grandbaby child. They must be around there fighting, girl. Let me go around here with these children. I just wanted to come on and chop it up with y'all for a little minute because I missed y'all. Hold on, Lollipop. What's wrong? What happened? Kiki, why you push Lottie? Because I pushed me first. Oh, Jesus. Why did you push her first? Because I don't want to do TikTok. Because you want to do TikTok? No, I didn't let her. So you push her because y'all, excuse me. So you push her because you didn't want to do TikToks with you on your tablet? Mm-hmm. And so you push her back, right? Well, I pushed her, but her pushed me back. And I was like, then pushed me. Okay, so understand, get your tablet. Get your tablet. You have your own tablet, okay? No. Everybody keep their hands to themselves, okay? No, I don't want to. Who are you talking to? Who are you talking to? Oh, that's what I thought. Okay, so understand. Listen, what I told you, every action has a reaction, right? You pushed her first, so she pushed you back, right? Okay, because you was being selfish with your tablet, right? Okay, so both of y'all apologize to one another. You get your own tablet, okay? And y'all go sit down for me, okay? I'm about to come right now, okay? Go back around there with uncles and your auntie. All right, y'all. Now she can do a TikTok with your tablet. So why didn't you just let her do it from the beginning? Why did y'all fight about it? See, I told y'all bring unnecessary strain in your life. Don't Nana tell you that? Huh? Huh? Say, I'm speaking with you. Don't Nana be telling you that? Speak. Don't just shake your head. Yeah, speak. Say something. Huh? Because y'all want to say hey? Come on, say hey to YouTube. We about to get off. Because evidently y'all demanding my attention at this point. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey, YouTube. Hey, YouTube. That's my grandbaby Lonnie. Come on, Kiki. Say hey, YouTube. Oh, child. Kiki got an attitude, honey. I ain't got time for that. But anywho, y'all get what I'm saying. But y'all, again, I was just coming to check in. It's been a minute. And I just felt like this was a great topic. I pray that you all are okay. Miss Glam, say hey. Say hey, Miss Glam. Talk. Say hey, Miss Glam. Hey. Miss Glam. Hey. Say Miss Glam. Say hey, Miss Glam. You said because you got in trouble? No, I don't want. She said you can watch TikTok now. Okay, tell Miss Glam hey, and then go watch TikTok. Say hey, Miss Glam. But okay, so yeah, everybody just give, just at the end of the day, show people some grace, y'all. I understand in this word it's way more easier. Hey, Miss Love Me, Tracy Anderson. It's way more easier to be judgmental. I know y'all find that way more easier, in relationships, just to poke your chest out and show your authority in any relationships that you have in your life. But sometimes understand that you may be the problem. That's basically all it is. Be able to receive people's feelings. Be less likely to try to, make people feel like their feelings are not valid. Listen to what they got to say. And, if it's fixable, fix it. If it ain't, and if you didn't mean it that way, tell them why you didn't mean it that way. Be willing to put the action behind the words, And y'all, as I always say, may your today be better than yesterday. May your tomorrow be better than today. Know that every day God blows that breath in your body, you're one step closer to your season. Okay, y'all don't fumble yourself worrying about the world. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be all right. No matter what you're going through in this day, in this hour, God is gonna turn it around for you. Even though you may feel like, man, no, it just ain't no way this can get better. It got to. And I'm out.